Okay, so what all countries have you been to?
I've been to Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Germany, Belgium, France, Russia, and Lebanon.
Out of those countries, which one's cultures do you think stand out the most?
Lebanese culture is very different, and the Russian culture was very different as well.
So how is Lebanese culture different? Just some points about it.
That's a tough question, Todd. Just the people themselves are really different. It's pretty westernized, like America, but the people are really volatile. They all have for the most part, they have pretty extreme anger issues. The food is totally different, totally different, in a negative kind of way. So that's about it.
I was reading in some research that in other countries, sometimes the words we use every day have completely different meanings. Like in Britain, the word yeah actually is a negative term that means pretty much no way possible and forget this. Is there any kind of things like that that you've had to deal with in your traveling?
I haven't really encountered that so much.
Most of your countries don't even speak English.
Exactly.
And then you said Russia was your other one you've been to that was different?
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, I was in East Russia, and it's obviously not communist anymore,
yeah.
But their lifestyle is still very backwards. Everybody lives in apartments, and the apartment buildings have one door in, one door out, and the apartments will have a huge lock on the outside, and all the windows have bars. So it was possible when it was communist for the whole apartment building to get locked down at any moment. And they have huge pipes going through all the cities that lead to a central power plant. And so there's no such thing as central heat and air in any homes. You don't make the decision of when you're going to turn your heat or AC on, because they just have a certain day written down on the calendar. And when that day comes, regardless of how cold it's been previously, that's the certain day they're going to turn the heat on for the entire city.
Oh, that's crazy.
So before then, you're just out of luck. So there's a lot of things about it that is really still communist. We went to a city where there was 95% cancer rate because of all the radioactive stuff that was going on back then.
So is defense and your safety do you feel threatened a lot when you're in other countries?
There was one instance in the Russian airport, not Moscow, it's westernized, but in East Russia, in the town we were in called Chelyabinsk. At the airport, people were extremely rude and mean, and once they found out we were Americans. So that was kind of an awkward situation. There's been several situations in Lebanon where I wouldn't say I felt unsafe, just kind of uneasy. Like I said, the people are really volatile and get angry and belligerent, and you can't understand what they're saying, so it makes it worse.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So did I hear a story about something about you in the airport and a bullet found in a suitcase?
That is correct. On my way to Lebanon, I made it through all the American customs, landed in Frankfurt, Germany, and I went through the x-ray machine, and they said I had a bullet in my bag. I had a guitar capo. I thought they were just talking about the guitar capo. Anyways, it was a backpack I'd gone hunting with several times. And at the very bottom of the backpack, folded underneath the seams, was a .22 bullet. So that was quite an ordeal, man. All the police came running out. I had to go to the interrogation room for 3 or 4 hours, but they calmed down. There was some kind of court case, but they hired a public defense guy, and that's the last I heard of it. So as far as I know, it's all taken care of.
As far as you know.
I hope so.
So you're kind of saying that other countries are a little bit more defensive in terms of foreigners and stuff coming in. Are they more strict about their searches and stuff?
Yeah, some of them definitely are. Some of them absolutely definitely are. Some countries really like Americans, so you're kind of cool and popular, and then some countries are the exact opposite.
What kind of countries like Americans? You have any you've been to?
Yeah. I've been to Germany five or six times, all over North, South, East, West, and they love Americans there. They love American music. They love everything about Americans. It's similar in Belgium and France, too.
What countries actually hate Americans?
In East Russia was probably the most hate I felt. They really didn't like us at all. And some in Lebanon, not much, but some. It just depends on where you're at in Lebanon.
Oh, really? So the whole Muslims being in Lebanon and stuff, are they the ones that are more, from what I've heard, are they the ones that are more anti-American? Or is it just the whole country?
It's not all Muslims, because some Muslims really don't practice Islam that much. But like in the south of Lebanon, it's a lot more strict, and the Islam is a lot more legit, and so they definitely don't like Americans as much as they do in the north.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite country to travel to?
I love them all, man. I love traveling to all. Lebanon really has a special place in my heart. I really do love the people, and I love the landscape and stuff is actually beautiful. I expected it to be desert like Iraq, or it's totally not, man. Huge snow-capped mountains. It's beautiful, and so probably Lebanon's at the top of my list.
So are there any more comments or anything you want to make about other countries and their cultures or anything, or how it's affected you and your view of the world?
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, the more you travel, the more places you go, you realize what a big place the world is. It makes you question some of your habits, some of your beliefs. You know, people do things totally differently, and some of the things they do legitimately work better. And so, you know, it helps to have an open mind. And it's helped me to have a more open mind to other people's beliefs and their way of doing things. And even though most of my trips have been to preach the gospel, I'm still open to other people's way of life. And so yeah, I've definitely learned a lot and grown a lot in my travels.
So one more question. I know whenever we went to Mexico, the driving was insane. And like there would be no stop signs. It would all be gigantic, just everything. And they would have 4 people on a 2-lane road, motorcycles going in between the cars.
Absolutely.
Speed bumps were like a foot tall because of the fact that no one ever slowed down. Is that how all the countries are, most of them? Or how is that?
I was in Costa Rica one time, and I was in a traffic jam for about 45 minutes while some dude on a horse drove this like 200 or 300 head of cattle across the road, and everyone just had to sit and wait. And yeah, Mexico's crazy, Belize is crazy, and Lebanon's the craziest driving I've ever seen. But the places in Europe are the exact opposite.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, Germany and France, and they have a ton of rules, tons of laws, lots of policemen just like we do here, a lot more civilized.
Okay, that pretty much brings this interview to a conclusion. Thank you, Mark.
Betcha, buddy.